Bitcoin still trading just under 99K. It's at massive resistance, but is this an opportunity for a weekend pump? Or did Uncle Donald just come and wreck it with the news that I've got for you? So guys, we're looking at alt setups that were looking pretty hot a couple of minutes ago, and I've got the news for you. I've got the setups, I've got longs, I've got shorts, I've got everything that you're going to need this weekend. So let's get right into it. And remember, as always, hit that like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe, and it's Friday, okay? And we had a little pump, and one question here for you guys, is Popcat actually a good kitty? Did anybody get a piece of that Popcat pop that we just had? So we're going to talk about that, and it's actually sitting in a bounce zone again right now after a brutal sell-off once again. So if you dare, you can have a go at Popcat with me again. I've jumped in for round 2. I will take you through that chart in a couple of minutes. And Bruce says, publicly bearish, privately bullish. Guys, follow, do the poll for me. It's an urgent sentiment check. I really need to know, your mental health at the moment. How are you guys feeling? Because things were looking damn sexy a couple of minutes ago. And then I think Uncle Donald dropped some news again, and he started causing some pain. So James is actually going to tell us about that in a second. He's ready to go. The tinfoil hat, I don't know if it's on, but he's got a couple of comments around that. Okay, so fill in that sentiment check for me. I really need to know how you guys are feeling. Let's go into BTC. Let's see what these guys are doing to us at the moment. So very interesting, and I must say, keeping it super simple with these levels. So obviously chart hackers guys get updated with these levels regularly from me, but those of you who are watching the show yesterday, these yellow circles, okay, these were the hot zones, these were the areas of interest for me, and no changes really. We had our beautiful dip into our yellow zone yesterday, so that gave us the potential long opportunity. And then again today, we've now popped into 2 of our resistance zones. Look at that. Number 1, straight into that 100K region for the hard rejection. So what I was saying earlier, and everything was looking pretty good. Okay, now there could still be some kind of recovery. So we're going to talk about what's happened now with Trump. And we're going to weigh up the positives and negatives now of going long. Okay, like an hour or 2 ago, I was like, fuck guys, we're going to go long. Now it's a little bit wobbly. Okay, so we're going to talk about this. You can see Bitcoin has rejected from 100K here, quite a hard rejection candle. So for me, very important. And this has been my sentiment for the last while. We need to reclaim this massive 99K region. I want to see this area getting reclaimed to flip bullish again. Now, I don't like the rejection candle we've just had. Maybe we get a nice little move and they start pushing through. So in terms of what I want to see, we know 99K is a massive daily level. It's also our 50-day moving average. It's also VWAPs. It's also order blocks. It's an absolute war zone in the front there. So we really need to break through. And you can see we've knocked on the door and we could potentially start moving up. So if we do, with that in mind, what are we looking at? Well, 100K again is going to come into play for you. That is going to be rejection zone number 2. So your first thing you're going to look for, if it does start pushing higher, is you're going to look for this wick fill. Maybe they're just going to come back, try and clean out that wick, and then send it down again. So look out for that. That is a potential opportunity on the table there. And I spend half my life on chart hackers. I need to leave my office. But the brothers carpet cleaning, bro. We've actually been cleaning up there today. I think we had a banger session earlier today in chart hackers. It's been a good day in there, I think. Okay, Bitcoin 100K. Look for that push up for the wick fill. That is most likely what could play out. Then, if we start looking higher again, let's not ignore our VWAP, which is slowly drifting lower. So that tells me this circle might need to just come a little bit lower for us, because we need to cater for the rejection on the VWAP and the 618 at 102K and that wick fill. So that is going to be my next region. So we're looking at 100K for the rejection, or 800 to 102K. That type of region there is my next big rejection zone. DJ and Zen, Fartcoin out of gas. Guys, what a roller coaster for Fartcoin. Okay, we're going to take you through that one as well. Who took Fartcoin yesterday? Who took Popcat? And Hacker's got a really nice E&A trade this morning. And DJ and Dave actually spoke to you about it last night on the show as well. So let me know in the chats there how you guys are doing. And just in terms of Bitcoin, guys, let's clear the 99 to 100K. Let's get over that, okay? Then we can start talking a little bit more exciting. You know your resistance areas in the front. And then in terms of pullback zones this weekend. It depends how we go, but I wouldn't mind seeing a flush to the downside here. We take out those lows. We maybe bang our 100-day MA. That is 95K. Look at that, 95K. A little bit lower down, we've got 93,564. So you can see so far, these yellow circles are getting respected really nicely, and you can just use them as your trading guide as we go through the weekend. Now, remember, all the charts I talk about get dropped straight into Chart Hackers for you guys, and you can find it there. Now, Arctic Trading, ENA, I actually closed that. I suspect I've closed it too early if we have a pump, but we're gonna cover that today. All right, so you've got your Bitcoin levels, you know what you need to do there, and I think this is a fair shout as to how things went down in the last hour. Guys, I mean, we saw things like Popcat blow up. We saw Fartcoin blow up. We saw everything start exploding. And then a couple of things started coming out on the news, okay? The S&P posts a 70-point reversal after Uncle Donald says that he plans to issue reciprocal tariffs as early as today, okay? At the minute we get some kind of push to the upside, he comes with his drama. And he starts throwing handbags at everyone again. So a little bit of a shakeout there for us, and that kind of ruined our momentum. And then on top of that, we had some unemployment information and NFP non-farm employment change data come out today, and that also, it seemed to be a mixed bag. And basically, the KBC letter says the U.S. economy adds 143,000 jobs in Jan, below expectations of 169. Unemployment rate fell to 4%, below expectations of 4.1. We now have the lowest unemployment rate since May 24. The Fed pause is here to stay. James, are we bullish? Are we bearish? What's the story here? Talk to me.
Based on that information, it's not bullish. I mean, it's actually pretty good numbers for the economy, right? But that's bad for us because it means the rate cuts are pushed off and less rate cuts. And so that's the problem, is that rate cuts are nowhere in the near future, and the market just needs to get over that. But honestly, this morning there was a tiny reaction to that news. It wasn't that bad, and then we were pumping and we pumped into it, and tiny little wicks back and forth, regular manipulation, and pumped again. It was this tariff business that tanked it all.
Guys,
thank you, Uncle Donald.
We live to fight another day. Okay, we're not going to let that stuff bother us. Okay, we've got each other. Okay, we've got each other. Okay, let's talk S&P. Just like James is saying, not a great vibe at the moment. Okay, the S&P a little bit red today. Not our best look. You can see we are now in a downtrend. Okay, so not looking that good. And if this continues, we're going to be testing the 6,000 level as our next line of support. So let's see what happens when we get there. Possible bounce off that zone, and then obviously we've got this beautiful wick to the downside. We've got a 100-day MA. That's going to be an easy zone for them to come and tap as well. And Ivan says, so far, Trump is killing us. He was supposed to be so bullish for crypto, and he actually is. If you look at what is going on here, look at this. He's launched his Bitcoin Plus ETF. Okay, that's pretty bullish. Safe to say, first ever POTUS ETF issuer. What a country, says 𝗟𝗓𝗄𝗏. Okay, so there's a lot going down here with Trump. And doesn't this feel like 2021 when we were all hanging on to Elon Musk? Every word Elon said in 2021, we got so excited about BTC. And here we are, Uncle Donald. Yes, sir.
You know what? This is a good point, this comment here, that there's plenty of jobs because of all the deportations. There will be a lot of job openings, tons of them, because of this. It's just not going to show in the data yet, right? He's been on this mass deportation thing, and they've been sending plane loads of people out. That we could see a big change in the numbers maybe next month.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, that's actually a very good point. So a lot of restructuring going on, but I don't like this feeling that this is us at the moment. I mean, this is basically all of us. We're holding on to Uncle Donald here, and he's got us in the palm of his hand, and he's dictating everything that's happening in the crypto market at the moment. It's not a nice feeling for me. I'm not enjoying that.
If he farts in the wrong direction, we're in trouble.
Well, exactly.
For the next 4 years.
Okay, it's not a good vibe, guys. Okay, let's go. Cointelegraph says Japan's FSA urges Apple, Google to remove unregistered crypto exchange apps, including Bybit, Nexi, Global, Albank, KuCoin, and BitGet. So they're kind of putting a bit of pressure there. Okay, so that's a little bit bearish from that front as well. So overall, I'd say a proper mixed bag at the moment, in spite of a lot of these charts, specifically on these altcoins, looking 4-hour and 8-hour very good. Okay, they're really looking good. Now, shorter term, they're looking a little bit bearish. And with this new news or the new development here, obviously, we now have to adjust our thinking for this weekend. So my original plan for this weekend was we were going to buy any reasonable dips, but now we've had a very hard dip from the altcoins as well. We've had Bitcoin float around a little bit, so we're going to be a little bit more measured with the types of longs we're going to take today and the ones you are going to be looking at. So Frank says, problem is good news, nothing pumps. Bad news, everything dumps. It does feel like that. It does. And here we go. Here's Bitcoin on the daily chart, and once again this massive daily level is coming into play for us. Look at that beautiful rejection candle in that region, and lots of pressure now to the downside for BTC. So again, same as yesterday, your main level on the daily 96k, your next level on the daily 95k. That is what you need to look at. And Chaos says, at this point you are more reliable than Trump.
Dylan for president, I like it.
That's very polite, okay? But all I do is watch some levels, okay? So you can see Bitcoin is bearish. Closing, if we close under this 50-day MA, guys, I think we have a rough weekend, okay? Then I think we start heading lower. It gets ugly, okay? So we really want to just start closing above. But in terms of what you need to watch in the short term, 96k, 95k, that is what you need daily levels. Okay, here we go. So here she comes, dropping a little bit lower here at the moment. Now let's talk a couple of markers that are important for us, and this is explaining a couple of things, and it's very important that you guys use the USDT dominance chart. You use the BTC dominance chart when you are setting up your trades. This is a perfect example of what happened today. Now the hackers, guys, I told them this morning, okay, what you need to look for on USDT is when we dip into that horizontal, we were saying TP zone on altcoins, danger zone. Okay, that is where we were looking at a danger zone. What's happened with USDT? It's dropped onto support and bang, this thing has now bounced back up. So it is putting us under a little bit of pressure. But what we can say and what we can do here is we can start looking for that rejection once again at this major horizontal. So if we get that rejection there, that will sort of free up the market again, and then we should get some kind of move. So if there is pressure now in the next hour or so, we got to see where we reject. I want to see this 4.6% rejection. That'll free up the market. If we blow through this, guys, problems, okay? 4.74, that's going to hurt. Imagine the feeling that you've just felt now on altcoins from that low to that move, 2%. Now look at that. If we blow through that region, that is another 5%. So double the pain of what you are feeling there at the moment. And is Ondo pooping or is Ondo popping? This is a problem for me, because are we gonna still hang on to this Ondo situation here? I've got the chart. We're bringing it up. Okay, so guys, USDT dominance, that is what you're looking at. Main support where it's going to bounce, 4.4, danger there for the market, okay? Rejection zone, 4.6%. Look for a rejection there. That should give you some kind of relief. Now, Fartcoin farting losses. Guys, what a banger was that Fartcoin trade, though. Come on. Who got a piece of that? That was an absolute banger, that thing, okay? And let me know in the chat here. And DJ Zen says, my Ondo is up. Oh, let's see. Where's this Ondo? Okay, Fartcoin's coming into a possible entry zone. I'm getting ahead of myself here. We're going to talk about it now. I'm just trying to find my Ondo. Ondo's okay. Okay, Ondo's okay. We're going to talk about it now. Okay, let's talk dominance here. Very important, guys. Remember, the drill dominance pumping, that tells us there's more interest in BTC. There's less interest in altcoins. Dominance dumping means BTC is less dominance and less dominant, and altcoins are potentially getting favored in the market. Okay, so that is what we look for. Now you can see we've got this big wick over here, and it does make sense that they start filling this wick. Now, I wanted to see this wick get filled with a beautiful Bitcoin pump through 99k today, and I think we were teeing up for that, and things were looking quite relaxing. Okay, it was looking quite nice, and now unfortunately this dominance is turning it's pushing a little bit higher, and unfortunately is with not the best Bitcoin conditions. So we need to keep an eye on that. In terms of what we're going to watch as well, if we start getting some kind of alt run this weekend, exactly what you're going to do with USDT dominance. If we drop into support, you're going to be careful on those levels there. Okay, so 61.2%. You're going to just take a look at your alts when you get there, and then you are going to see how these things are reacting. Who said short the lows, long the top? I love that. Guys, long the top and short the lows. What a banger. What an absolute banger. And look, if you don't want to do that, okay, if you don't want to long the top and short the lows, come to Chart Hackers. Okay, yeah, you can follow us. Jeez, our Twitter's flying. We got 2,060 followers. Follow us, the Chart Hackers, on Twitter. It's actually becoming an alpha hub and a comedy hub. I mean, there's lots of comedy here for you guys. But you can see, here's my BTC update from earlier today. Here's DJ Dave giving his E&A setup. Okay, that was yesterday. And here's a MOG setup. You can see there's actually alpha happening here, okay, on the Chart Hackers Twitter. So give it a follow, and you'll get a little taste of what is going on there in Chart Hackers. So that is one way you can avoid longing the top and shorting the bottom if you want. Another way you can avoid it is taking my trading accelerator. This is my very short and quick and concise trading course. Okay, if you want to do what I do here, and you look at all these things and all these lines that I'm drawing, and you're saying, how does he know these things are going to bounce in those areas? Do this course. This course is for you. So go to the show description. Everything I'm talking about today is here under the show. So go under the show. There's hackers there. You can see my accelerator is there as well, and all the exchanges and things that I cover, everything is under the show for you guys. And Chris says, where's his cooking vid? It must be there. It's got to be there, Chris. I'm pretty sure it's there. Okay, let's not digress. Let's get into DJS416 says, what the fuck is happening with Rune? Bro, Rune is, where have you been? Okay, so Rune fundamentally has a problem, and right now we don't know if they're going to fix it. So it's pretty bearish, the news at the moment with Rune, and until they fix it and come out with some kind of big solution, I think it might struggle a bit. Not saying they can't sort it out or they can't fix it, but I think you might have to take a long-term view on this one if you are sitting under water there. Okay, so that is the summary, and let's go. Matty, bro, I gave you so many head shorts today in Chart Hackers on that live Zoom session I did. Did you guys look? Did you catch any of them? Let me know. In terms of altcoins, this is what we're looking at. No changes to yesterday. Resistance for our altcoins. This is total 3. This is the altcoin market, and excluding Bitcoin and ETH, we are pushing into resistance. We cannot turn super bullish until we are above there. So this is the same message every day. Until we break above that, we need to be cautious. We need to understand that they could come fill these wicks at any time, and there can be some downside pressure. So whenever we're trading now, we're looking at these types of things. We're looking at hedge shorts when we're pushing into resistance and those types of things. Now, let's go. Look, Matt, I don't blame you, bro. Okay, I mean, things were looking really good. Okay, they were looking really good. But remember, when we feel too euphoric, we got to check ourselves. And sometimes we have to look at a couple of short options there. So, yes.
And sometimes Trump checks us. We don't have to worry about checking ourselves.
That didn't help. Okay, that didn't help. Okay, Trump checked us today. Okay, he literally clotheslined us, or whatever you call it. Okay. Let's talk about ETH, another stable coin, the ETH that wrecked us last week. We pumped into the 50-day last week with ETH, and I think we were on borderline euphoria there, looking for the pop, and they just ended at, I'm sure it was Trump ending us again last week. It was. I think it was. It was, eh? It was the tariffs or something. What did he do last week? He ruined our Friday.
Yeah, I can't keep up with what day did what, but yeah, he's on a roll.
Okay, he ruined our Friday, I think, last week. Anyway, Ali Chart says, historically, shifts in the MVRV momentum have signaled key turning points for ETH. With the latest movement, it's worth watching how ETH responds in the coming days. Now, he's given a chart, and I'm assuming he's trying to be super bullish here, but if you look at the chart, this thing is red AF, okay? So it still needs to actually reverse and start pushing a little bit higher. So I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to tell us here, because he's sounding like super bullish about it, but it is actually looking a little bearish. There, you can see this comment at the bottom. He says, is ETH going even lower? This guy, Mike Smith, he says. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a mixed message there from Ali Chart. And then Michael van der Popper says, in the past week, investors have bought more than $500 million worth of ETH in the ETH ETF. They're not buying because they assume the bull market is over. That is a fair comment. I can agree with that. And Chaos says, can I give away a bit funded? The next one to join and tag me in channel Hangout Chat wins. Okay, Chaos, give out 2. Okay, give out 2 bit funded. Where's Chaos? He's just in the chat. Okay, Chaos, give out 2 bit funded in the chats. Just write in the chats what you want them to do. We're going to give you 2 bit funded base challenges. Okay, we're going to give away 2. They're worth $79 each. Chaos, just tell the guys in the chats what you want them to do. Okay, watch the chats for Chaos's instructions there, guys. Let's talk my favorite shitcoin. Here is ETH. Okay, so in terms of our plan for ETH, this is actually unchanged. If you look at the rest of the charts that we've been going through the last couple of days, there's been big moves, but ETH has been super flat at the moment. And Crypto Queen says, I don't know why anyone is in Rune, bro. Sell the rubbish. I need Bitfunded so bad, or liquidated. Guys, that's a solution for you. Bitfunded. I'm digressing. Okay. Important here, let's not lose focus. ETH is getting squeezed in between the two VWAPs, the VWAP from the highs, VWAP from the lows. So something is brewing here for ETH, either a pop to the upside or a pop to the downside. We just need to understand something is going on here at the moment with ETH. This range is way too tight for me. And what you need to look out for now is typically false moves either way. So we need to watch out what we can get. You can see our upside here. Look out for a massive pump and rejection. That could be big danger for us. 2,900, 2,800. That's a big area there for us for ETH. And look out to a downside dip and then a quick pump as well is possibly on the table for us. So keep your eyes on this. In terms of high confluence levels for me, in terms of levels where I think it's worth really looking for a high conviction long, that is still 2,400. I'm interested in that, guy, because we've got so much horizontal confluence there as well, and it's our 618 and it's tying in with a couple of things for us. So this region here is a big level for me, anywhere down there, and I think if we do hit that this weekend, that might be worth a look for potential ETH longs. Obviously, we've got our low, which we know is on a major weekly level for us. So if we start losing that low, I mean, things are bad out there if we start losing that low. So you need to decide, you know, what your bias is. But for me, currently, I'm looking at holding the lows on ETH at the moment. So if we do hit that 2.4, most likely a good region to start looking for a couple of longs there. And how do I say down? Do I say down wrong, James? Am I doing it wrong? Doesn't she like the way I say down? Okay, SOL ETF update earlier today. Okay, earlier Thursday, the SEC acknowledged the filing by Grayscale for a SOL ETF, meaning that the commission now has until October to approve or deny the application. Okay, so just lots of like murmurs here with SOL. Let's not lose let's not lose sight of the fact that SOL is an absolute banger and it needs to be part of your portfolio. If you are a hodler, you know, it's got to be part of something that you do. And we looked at this one yesterday, SOL versus Bitcoin, and you can see it's just in a beautiful range at the moment, and we can trade this range until this range eventually breaks. Okay, so right now we are at support on SOL BTC, so there's no reason why we can't say we can look for longs as long as we are at this range low. So in terms of spot positions, very low leverage stuff, you can't really go wrong at a massive range low. Now obviously things can dip lower, we know that, but in terms of looking for that bounce, history tells us we typically bounce off this level. So in terms of that, watching what history tells us, there could be a bounce here. So anywhere on that support for me on SOL BTC, and that really does tie into our levels that we looked at yesterday. So no changes with regards to that in terms of SOL BTC. And, the big one for me is still the 200-day moving average at 142, anything down to these wicks here, 174, even look out for a fake out to this guy. So that is all on the table for SOL. We can't write that off. Now, things that are looking good for SOL for me, 8 hour, and this was really looking good before Trump actually kind of ruined our day. But we've got bullish divergence printing here. This 8 hour is looking very interesting in terms of a reversal. You can see the 4 hour as well was also looking really good earlier today, if they're going to let it load when you're ready. There it is. We've got double divergence printing. I've got my blue dot. I've got my reversal. So the signs are there. Now, in spite of a headline that can actually ruin it for us, other than that, the charts are saying higher time frame, 4 hour, 8 hour, things are looking okay. So it is interesting for me for SOL to hold those levels. In terms of lower time frames, now you're going to see a couple of alts. They absolutely shot in terms of these 1 hour reversals. So you can see that we need to let these 1 hours play out. We need to let these things drift lower, and then we can start looking for potential bounce plays on things like SOL, for example, at wherever that's going to settle. You're going to look for some kind of horizontal there. So hopefully, in a perfect world, let's go back to the 8 hour. In a perfect world, it's going to hold the lows from earlier today or from yesterday. In a perfect world, that is what you're going to get. So your first line of support is going to be, your first major line of support for SOL is going to be those lows, 186. Okay, so that is going to be step one. If you get that 1 hour reset on the oscillator, that could be a nice little buy there for you guys to the downside. And what was that comment? Cosmo the Wonder Dog, the charts are saying, fuck me. Guys, they are. Okay, it was very choppy. Now, I hate talking about XRP, but it keeps getting shoved down my throat. Multiple funds, including 21 shares. Bitwise, Canary Capital, Wisdom Tree, they filed for an XRP ETF. This is the worst part. Okay, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse reportedly expected to be appointed as an advisor to the White House Crypto Council. Now, I mean, if that's not bullish for your token, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Just wait till you watch. We're going to have a handful of tokens that really win, and this is going to be one of them. You might have to give Mr. Brad Garlinghouse an apology live here on the show or something when that happens.
Imagine grinding it out for so long and everyone's calling you an absolute shitcoin. And next thing you're getting appointed government advisor to like the most crypto bullish US president ever.
Anybody who's held XRP since last run or before that, congratulations for having diamond fucking balls. I mean, that was tough.
I couldn't stomach it. Whoever did, like, really, guys, really.
Good for you.
This is an apology. This is an apology to the entire XRP community. I apologize to you guys because you got fucking diamond hands. I mean, really, it was an absolute shitcoin. Congrats to you for holding on. Okay, I wish you well. Seriously. Yeah, I need a sip of water after that. I might need a whiskey. I still can't believe it. Okay, let's move on. Let's look at this shitcoin. Let's look at the chart. So, now, in terms of what is going on, it didn't respond that bullishly. You can see it's looking like the rest of the market. And I think, you know, everyone's also tired of XRP. It's becoming like a fucking meme coin now, and it's starting to irritate people. So in terms of what we're looking at, though, you can see there's a clear trend break. It's a little trend break on XRP. You can see a couple of things now. This is the 2 hour chart. So I'm talking to the DGens now. I'm talking to the guys looking for a trade this weekend. Resistance, big resistance here, 2.55 up to 2.7. That is a big danger zone for you. That is problems up there. In terms of this thing going bullish for us this weekend, I would say your safest play is to look for some kind of support at 2.4. That's probably your safest DGen play. Okay, that's all I can give you on XRP. You've got danger ahead. If you do hold that and start firing off, and you break through that resistance, well, guys, then it's on, and then we know the market is popping. No, apology accepted. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that for accepting my apology. And okay, now, where can XRP go lower down? Now, the first thing you want to do today, now, things were they were looking on for a move this weekend. Now we got to change our plan a little bit. And the first thing you want to watch here for XRP is that it holds the lows from today. If we start closing below these lows, we're going to have problems. Okay, so you're going to have a dirty, you're going to have a dark weekend. Okay, you're going to be shouting at the dogs again and doing those things. So XRP, you want to hold 2.28. That's a big level for you. 2.28. Watch that guy. Okay, 2.28. If you start closing under these types of levels, you know what's going down. Okay, that trend break was a fake out, and they're sending us to hell. Okay, and then we're looking at 1.9, those types of levels. I would expect the lows to hold. I would expect that wick fill to happen. So I would say we'll catch up on Sunday, but 1.95, guys. We'll catch up on Sunday on the main channel. And if there is a dump this weekend, well, we'll make sure that we sort you out. So I've got a show on Sunday, but that is essentially what I would watch. That's the deepest and darkest you want to go leading into Sunday. 1.95, probably a buy there. We'll have to see on Sunday if we get that low. Now, let's talk a couple of things. And wow, we're going to have to check in. Some of these trades might be bleeding out now. But in terms of ENA, now, DJ and Dave called ENA yesterday. So I hope some of you guys got it off the show. He also spoke about it on Chart Hackers last night. And then this morning, I dropped a really clear and concise trade for ENA this morning with a nice explanation on the charts. I've changed my system as to how I go about giving these setups. So I gave everyone a nice write-up here on ENA, and we had a beautiful pump. And this thing has now ripped straight into our resistance band, which was our 200-day MA, our 382, our trend, a typical rejection zone. So I've closed that trade for ENA. I banked those profits when we started rejecting earlier, and now we wait. Okay, now you can wait for your next ENA entry. But if you did pick up ENA down here and you are still feeling bullish in the market, there is no reason to close this thing just yet, okay? You can still hang on to this ENA. Your problem comes when we start closing under the lows, okay? That is really what you're going to be looking at. So if you have higher conviction on ENA and you're happy to park in this thing for a bigger move, then unless we close under the lows, you actually okay. So anybody who took that trade yesterday, you are good, okay? You are good. You can hang on to that one for now. If you close under the lows, well, that is going to be your round trip. And that is the risk you take by holding on to these trades. This is why, guys, what I like to say, and I remind you every time, you must be sick of me telling you this. If you're opening longs, we know when the market is looking bullish, we can open multiple longs. These alts behave very similarly. What you can do is close one or two at resistance zones, then leave one or two open that you can add to in case the market starts popping higher. You can grow the size of your position. And then another option is open head shorts at key regions. Okay, that is the message I want to get across. And Martin says Casper. We're looking at Casper. Had a brutal rejection today as well, so we're going to talk about that. Okay, so ENA, you've got the drill. Let's talk hype. I gave you guys the short yesterday. I'm still sitting in a hype short. There's no reason to close this thing just yet. Okay, we are waiting patiently for hype to play out. And just to recap where we were, we had a head and shoulders on hype. We started losing levels. We were saying any pumps to the upside at rejection zones. We had our quantum reactor, we had our 382, we had our VWAP, we had tons in the way to tell us that we were going to get some kind of rejection there. So this is now playing out. So in terms of anybody holding hype, you can hold this as a head short. I wouldn't enter now. There's just no changes to yesterday. So ideal entry was in that zone at the top. Okay, so that was 24.4 up to about 25. That type of region was your ideal level for that hype short. And right now for me, no reason to close this thing until we start breaking above those levels. Okay, then we can start getting a little bit more bullish again. So if you break above 25, then we can say, okay, hype is on. Now, in terms of where this thing can go, I think be patient. I think if the market carries on bleeding a little bit, you're looking at about 22. You can see that region as well, and your 618. So 22.6 to 22 makes sense to me for hype. And then if we do start getting momentum lower, this is going to be a long zone for you guys at 20. Somewhere in that region, you're going to get some kind of long there, I would expect. Okay, you're going to have to look at your oscillators at the time when it starts, when things start reversing, but you most likely get a 12%, possibly a 22% off that, call it 20 to 19.5 region. That will be that wick fill. Okay, so that is basically the bear case now for hype. JD. Hello, sir. JD, are you long? Are you short? JD, let me know in the chats. Are you long? Are you short? What are you doing there? And I'm keen to let me know what you guys are trading. Are you long? Are you short? Let's see our sentiment check here quickly. 55% bullish still. Look, guys, I was super bullish earlier until this Trump situation. It's just a bit filthy what's going on at the moment. Okay, let's get back to the action. Okay, so JD's always long. Okay, the man's got conviction. The man's got long conviction there. Crypto Queen, I've got Sui. We're going to look at Sui in a sec. And Adam says nothing trading. He's quiet at the moment. Crypto Queen is short. Okay, we're going to take a look. Okay, here is L-Bank. And oh no, my shit's turning red now. That's so frustrating. Okay, so this is the deal. I had Fartcoin long earlier today on Bybit that I've closed. Okay, in terms of the Fartcoin long on L-Bank, I've left this open and I've added a little bit to my Fart position. I'm going to show you that chart in a second, and you're going to see why and my thought process behind adding to that Fartcoin long. And I've raised my stop to 4670. So if anybody is sitting in Fartcoin at the moment and you want to mimic what I have here, my stop loss, it's a hard stop, 4670. I'm going to show you why in a sec. Then there's Peppy from yesterday. No changes there. Then Popcat. Now, this is my second Popcat trade. So you guys saw yesterday I was long Popcat. And now we've had a full retest on Popcat. And I bought some more again. And my current stop loss is 2169. Okay, so that is the current plan. I'm going to show you the Popcat trade. If it's going to bounce, it's got to bounce here. Otherwise, it's sending us straight to hell. So that stuff is coming back for you guys in a sec. And we're going to cover that. Now, remember, there's a special offer from L-Bank. They are my new exchange partners. And because of this, they want to give you guys an incentive to sign up and try out their exchange. So in terms of what they are offering you, if you are not a member of Chart Hackers, well, you got something here. They're giving you a 50% deposit bonus. Okay, that's 50%. Now it's on your first deposit. So if you put in $100, they're going to give you $50 to trade with. If you put in 500, $250. If you put in 1,000, $500 trading bonus. Now, what you need to do is sign up in the link in the show description. There is no KYC on this, but if you want to do KYC, they're going to give you a bonus as well for doing a KYC. Okay, so you can go into the show description here underneath the show and take a look. Click on Bank, sign up there, give it a test. Okay, a lot of our Chart Hackers guys are using it at the moment, and we're getting it a run. So non-Chart Hackers members, if you sign up using this link, you will automatically get an invite to join Chart Hackers, and you will get a 10% discount for your first month on Chart Hackers if you want to come and test it out. Now, Chart Hackers members, inside the Discord, there's a special link for you guys. You're getting a 70% sign-up bonus. Okay, so in Chart Hackers members, in there is already a link for you. You can go there and sign up to that one. And our scalpers are using that in the trading zone, and they are firing away. So great for scalping as well. Now, let's go. Fartcoin. Now, who enjoyed this absolute banger from yesterday? I must say, I thoroughly enjoyed that fart, and I knew it was time to start trading farts with my friends again. I just had that feeling, and there's nothing better than sitting in a room and trading farts with your buddies. And this is what I really enjoyed. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Not at all. Farts is what you should be after. This is the best moving token of the whole damn system right now.
Correct. Okay, but now I want to teach you guys something. I want to show you something very interesting here. Fartcoin ripped straight. Fartcoin ripped, okay, straight into our VWAP. Look how simple that can be. Straight into a VWAP, into highs. Look at that rejection there on Fartcoin, okay? So that made sense there, that we get some kind of a rejection in that zone. And in terms of where we can buy it again, potentially, if we're going to get a buy, you keep it simple. You watch your oscillator, and Mia, nice. Let me see if I still got this thing. I got a fart short. There, I also shorted that thing. Nice, Mia. I like your work. Cetus is from yesterday, and there's Ondo. We're going to talk about this Ondo in a sec. Okay. Now, in terms of Fartcoin, is there a round 2? There is potentially a round 2 coming on Fartcoin. You just need to manage now when you get this reversal. So I'm tracking the 15 minutes. You can see Fartcoin earlier. I dropped in Chart Hackers earlier today. It was screaming reversal. You can see that on the lower time frame. It was printing reversal at our VWAP. And that was telling us we were going to get some kind of reaction or some kind of rejection. So that was a trigger to take profit or open a head short if you were looking at that. So now we are moving back to the lows. You can see we are printing a reversal. And what you want to see, some kind of divergence here. If you get that type of divergence, similar to that, but on the downside, you most likely going to get some kind of short-term bounce on FART. Now, here it is. Okay, look there. We are now pushing into the zone. You can see there's our VWAP from the lows. And right now, it's starting to react on that VWAP. What I would suggest here, if you're looking for some farts, you want to drop into that zone here, 4758. That type of region there could give you a possible bounce. But remember, with Fartcoin, this thing is so volatile. This tiny move you're looking at can absolutely rinse you. Look at that. That's 5%. Already that move over there. So play very safely here in terms of leverage. Play very safe with your margin, your position size, and how you're going about things. Remember, things like Fartcoin, small position, big move. You don't need a lot of capital. You just need very low leverage because you don't want to get rinsed out for no reason on these things. So in terms of a possible long coming for Fartcoin, you are looking at 476, that type of region, down to about 464. Okay, somewhere in that region. And look, if you're jumping in now on that VWAP, you can see there is a reaction here on the VWAP. I'm just not convinced that it's the absolute bottom. I think we can get a little bit more. So VWAP is 49 for a possible bounce, but a bigger zone for me that I'm more comfortable with. Let's call it 48, guys. 48 to 465. That's a zone. If you start closing under there, I would cut that position, okay? And you can see where my stop loss is at the moment. Let's go there. 467. Okay, 467. Let's just confirm. Let's make sure it's in the right place here. 467. So yeah, that's my stop under that region. Okay, that's where my hard stop is. So you can see why I'm looking for that 618 to hold, maybe a little bounce in that region, and some kind of recovery there on the fartcoin. Okay, so that is the plan for that one. Hopefully you guys got some farts yesterday, and then let's talk Ondo. So Trump's World Liberty bought Ondo yesterday while we were live. We actually spoke about that, and we were talking about buying Ondo on that level. So again, no changes. Ondo is actually turning into a super boring range trade currently, and we might get a move either way. So what I want to say here, guys, we know it's a bullish week for Ondo. We know that in terms of the market doing quite badly, Ondo has been relatively stable in this very tight range at the moment. And you can see there's shorts at the highs at 1.5 and there's longs from the lows at 1.27. So right now, no changes for Ondo. 1.27 looking for longs, 1.5 you're looking for shorts until it doesn't work anymore. So that is pretty much how you can play that. In terms of my outlook on Ondo, now I'm sitting in that Ondo position, obviously still waiting for bigger things. And the longer this drags on, the more concerned I'm getting, because that's a head and shoulders. And we cannot break the right shoulder. And it's becoming a little bit of an annoyance for me. So if the market starts dumping and Ondo stops leaking out some good news, remember, every day this week they've been dropping news because they've got an Ondo conference and they launched their global markets. I think the global markets launched today, if I'm not mistaken, James. So we need some good news out of Ondo. But in terms of support, 127. And if there is a sell-off, guys, medium-sized sell-off, you're looking at 112. And look, you don't want to go lower than that. Bigger sell-off, that's your lows, 95, give or take on Ondo. Okay, so I'm still holding this thing. If we start closing under 127, yeah, I might have to cut a little bit. Okay, so yeah, we'll see how it plays out. But that is Ondo then for you guys. Then in terms of 𝗬𝗎, so this one's been pretty slow, folks, at the moment. So not much to report. It's actually gone a little bit quiet. And what we're looking at now, as you can see, 𝗬𝗎 looks very much like the Sol chart in the way it's just bleeding down, bleeding down, bleeding out. Look how it's sitting on that 200-day moving average. And let's just remind you what Sol looks like at the moment. And a very similar look. There's Sol also pinged that 200-day moving average. So 𝗬𝗎's got a very similar feel to it at the moment. So in terms of bullish levels where I think we can get a bounce on 𝗬𝗎, yeah, it's 2.96 to 2.8. That's zone number one. So that hasn't changed from a few days ago when we looked at this thing. That is your first main zone. Then the lows. Okay, that low, it looks like a banger area to me. So 2.35 to about 2.4 looks like a nice area there as a base level for a 𝗬𝗎 trade. Okay, for a 𝗬𝗎 long. So 2.96 to 2.8 and then 2.42 down to, say, 2.3. Those types of levels there. Remember, these charts, guys, they go straight into chart hackers. So if I'm moving a bit fast, you'll have a stable chart in chart hackers that you can open in front of you and then figure out what you want to do with it or what your game plan is. Okay, so those are typical reaction zones that I would look for bounces there on 𝗬𝗎. And then in terms of upside, like, I mean, you can see things are looking a little bit bearish at the moment, but you kind of want to just look at your big resistance zones to the upside. So if there is a move this weekend, 3.54 and 4.23 are your upside moves. Okay, and Nasdaq is starting to dump. So guys, it's not good. It's not a good vibe. Look at that. Bitcoin getting rinsed off the 618. I just want to, I mean, again, it's hilarious, but something as simple as a 618, guys, look at that 618. Just giving you that perfect rejection off that region. Okay, sometimes you just need a VWAP and a 618. I'm telling you, it can be simple like that. Now, Lark Davis says, over 44 billion has been wiped out from the meme coin market the past 3 weeks. How much percent is your meme coin portfolio down in the last 3 weeks, Jade?
Zero. Gone. Done.
Rinsed. No, absolute filth out there, guys.
Can't even buy half a handbag with the whole portfolio.
No, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Okay, so anyway, guys, everyone's in the same boat. Okay, unless you own GOKU, because that thing just holds. Okay, all the time. But other than
fartcoin.
Or fartcoin.
That's pretty good.
I mean, is it? But that thing fucking dumped, though. That thing dumped hard.
You just don't want PopCat.
Or maybe you do.
Spit your water out.
Maybe you do, now that it's been listed or about to be listed on Coinbase. I'll bring James back because he might have some info on PopCat for us. We're going to look at that now. WIF is the most bought token by smart money in the last 24 hours. I don't believe that. I think that's absolute rubbish. But this is what they're saying. WIF the most buyers. Then you've got Popcat and Mooding, you can't be smart money. Are you smart money if you're buying Mooding and Popcat? Maybe they know something we don't. Maybe it's reversal time. And Adam says it's disgusting and we're going straight to help. I concur. At the moment, I concur. Oh my God, that looks disgusting. Okay, James, look at this chart, bro. Fuck. Here we go again. Guys, round 2. Okay, round fucking 2. Now, in terms of hedge plays, okay, so we saw a lot of this today, and if you were in Chart Hackers, you would have got a few warning bells from us in terms of hedge areas and things like that to look for. Okay, it's not perfect. We can't get it perfect every time, but we got a couple of banger zones there in terms of rejections. Okay, so WIF is one of these examples here. From the highs to the lows, look at that VWAP rejection, trend rejection, 382 rejection. We saw this across the board on altcoins today. Now, quite interestingly, we also got reversal prints on the 1 hour and those types of things. Look at that bearish divergence there. Now we need to sit on our hands here and wait for this thing to start settling. I mean, this thing is messy now at the moment. So you really need to see that reset. Where's that reset going to be? Well, it's a tough shot now. It's difficult to call, and we need to really now watch level by level. So you can see this drop is horrible. So what you're going to watch now, first areas of interest, you're going to look for some kind of reaction in these zones, 0.7 to 0.68. So I would say look for something here in that region, okay, for WIF. So let's see how fast this comes down. If it's a slow bleed, okay, if it's a slow bleed and you start relaxing in that zone, that could be your next potential bounce region for WIF. You're going to have to play it by ear, though. You're going to have to watch this thing slowly, look for the reaction in that zone, and then make a call as to how you want to do it. So don't rush into it. If it drops into that zone, look for the reaction. But you can see in terms of a reaction zone, there's wicks here, there's horizontal action, and you might get your reset on the oscillator if it does go down to those levels. So watching 0.7 to 0.68, guys, that is what you need to do. And then lower down, obviously, if we do drop below those levels, you need to understand your risk. So if you're aping in high leverage in that box, and this box does something like this, a little bounce and then another rinse, do not stick around too long in that position because your risk is 7% to the wick lows. Can your leverage account handle an extra 7% dump? Okay, if you're trading high leverage. So do the calculation, do the maths for yourself if you're trading high leverage and work out what your account can handle. Don't get caught in a position where you're looking at WIF and you say, you know what, it's falling, but I'm just going to hold on just to the lows. Okay, and you hold on, and then what happens if it doesn't hold the lows and it carries on going? Okay, rinsed. Okay, so just be careful there, guys, with how you play. Resrun, I really need to do Floki. Now, I can't do it today, but I really need to do Floki for you guys. So I will cover it on Sunday on the main channel show that I'm going to cover for you guys. Okay. So guys, that is WIF. Okay. Those are your areas. It looks disgusting. There's no other phrase. For Pepe as well. Fucked. Okay. Look at this. Okay. Another token rejecting off VWAPs, rejecting off trends, rejecting off horizontals. And this this chart was also in Chart Hackers this morning in my Zoom charts that I dropped. And you can see why. We pump into a horizontal. That's a potential rejection zone. And now this thing is sitting a little bit lower. Trump tariffs on Japan, big risk. Okay, so Trump tariffs on Japan. That is very interesting. Okay, well, James says he doesn't know. But fuck, I mean, that's not good. It's like a bull in the china shop, literally. Like, especially to our bags. It's not a vibe, okay? Unless we perma short. Okay. Let's look at Pepe. So remember, Pepe higher time frame. Let's just see if I can find my higher time frame chart so you guys can see the bigger picture. So in terms of the bigger picture, obviously now, you know, if there's new tariff news, guys, realistically, it is possible that we can dump. Okay, so you need to understand that, we can't control what we can't control. So in terms of the higher time frame positioning, 3-day chart, Pepe actually looks okay. Okay, it looks okay until we start closing under 77. So in terms of that, it's fine. I'm not nothing to panic about yet. In terms of the lower time frame, you can see that's an absolutely filthy rejection. And our oscillator on the 1 hour is flipping super bearish, turning over. And your best bet here, for those of you that have Chart Prime, is to let this thing settle. For those of you that don't have Chart Prime, you could use a regular RSI. It's obviously not as helpful, but a regular RSI on the 1 hour is a bit of a banger. Okay, it can help you, especially in terms of Bitcoin reversals. I love using that thing on the 1 hour. So if you don't have the chart prime, you can use a regular RSI. Yes, sir.
So yeah, apparently Trump just made a statement that tariffs are on the table for Japan. Nothing yet. I've just sent you a little tweet there that you should grab if you can. It's quite funny. In the research group.
I can already see reading this thing. That's quality. Okay, so yeah, let's see if we can pull that one up in a sec. But I love that. You get a tariff. You get a tariff.
Everybody gets a tariff.
Okay, now. Okay, let's see if we can get that one going there. There it is. You get a tariff. Australia, you get a tariff. New Zealand, you get a tariff. Everyone gets a tariff. Guys, enjoy your tariffs, okay? Enjoy your tariffs. We're going to zero. Fucking hell, okay? And Japan and Australia look like this one. Okay, let's get back to the charts. I'm sure you guys are sweating in a couple of positions. Okay, let's talk Coinbase. Let's talk Popcat. Okay, assets added to the roadmap today. Morpho token, Pudgy Penguins. We spoke about that yesterday. Popcat on Sol. Okay, so if you were sitting in Popcat from yesterday, we absolutely fucking nailed that thing. Okay, and hopefully some of you took profits. I sincerely hope some of you guys took profits. Obviously, you know, no one was expecting this type of headline to come and wreck things completely like that. But in terms of a Coinbase listing, you typically get the bounce, and then you typically get your second follow-up, and then they dump it. Okay, so now because of the headlines and everything today, that didn't work out. They just sent it straight down. So you didn't get your second bite. Yes, sir?
There's a lot of laughing on Twitter right now saying, man, even a Popcat listing on Coinbase couldn't save that shit coin.
Come on, guys. It's a Popcat. It's my kitty. Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at this objectively. Let's see what is going on. Now, Coinbase listing, nice. Okay, that's obviously helpful. So hopefully some of you guys got some profits out of that thing yesterday. It was a typical 618 bounce. We identified the reversal, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it made sense. It was nice. In terms of the 4 hour, we can't ignore. That is like really looking bullish. Okay, now Trump's ruining it, but that looks bullish in terms of that. Guys, I was bringing you an absolute banger today. 8 hour, look at this. It looks amazing on the 8 hour as well. Look at these reversal prints here. Really liking the look of that thing. Look at the 12 hour as well. Looking good, turning green. Look at the daily. Okay, look at that. Look at all those reversal prints. So unfortunately, we might be in a spot now. So what I did was I longed Popcat off that retest of the VWAP. And look, I'm not going to stick around. You know where my stop loss is. It is sitting at 2169. Okay, if that stop loss hits, I'm forgetting about it. I'm going to have a beautiful weekend, and I'm going to see you guys on Sunday for an update. Okay, and we'll see where we are going after that. So in terms of Popcat, that is my stop. Okay, you can trade that with me if you want to, and there's danger that we go lower. So what you can do, let's just look at a couple of things here. You can pull out a trend. Okay, so if we do dip lower, okay, I don't want to go lower than really where we are. And at some point, you've got to draw the line as to where you cut your position. So what you can see can happen here is if Popcat drifts lower and we start losing that trend, you most likely get a retest this weekend, and then they're going to dump it. Okay, so that is typically what you're going to do, what you're going to be looking at there on Popcat if it loses that trend. In terms of bounces, I like that area. I like the 618. I like the quantum reactor. I like the horizontal. That made sense to me, okay? But, you know, that didn't make sense to me, okay? That does not make sense to me. That's irritating, okay, that we're relying on that at the moment. Okay, so, yeah, Popcat, guys, that's the drill. Hopefully, if things turn bullish, we come back and fill that wick. There could be a nice trade there. But again, like I said, I'm not sticking around. Okay, going to go have a nice relaxing weekend. It's been a fucking rough week in the markets. Monday was rough. Tuesday was rough. I think Wednesday was rough. We had a nice recovery. And now Trump's playing games with us again. So what I suggest is, if you got rinsed, take a break. Okay, just chill this weekend. I'm back on Sunday. By then, things will have been digested. We'll understand where we are with the market, and then we can play again going forward. Okay, and Matt says every time we think we're going higher, they kick us in the balls. They do. Okay, they do. To be fair, guys. One more thing before I go. If you're getting rinsed, okay, why don't you try trading with other people's money? Where's our giveaway? Did Chaos say where our giveaway was? Where's our giveaway? This is Bitfunded, guys. You can see this is one of my funded accounts. And in that dump on Monday, they nearly rinsed me. Okay, look here. When you get your funded account, they give you a maximum daily loss. And they nearly rinsed me on that Monday. It was so close. Okay, but I hung on to this funded account. So waiting for the perfect trade for this thing. James, what's our giveaway?
Well, there it is. We've already got one that's joined. And that's it. It's right here in the description. You need to join Chart Hackers and tag Chaos in the Hangout chat. So there's one position left. One's already filled.
So guys, if you want a Bitfunded giveaway, join Chart Hackers, tag Chaos. Okay, just do that quickly. If there happens to be 2 or 3 more that do it, okay, I'll make a plan. No problem. Okay, so tag Chaos in the Hangouts chat, and we will sort you out with a Bitfunded. But let's keep it to the first 3 or 4. Okay, so please do that. Okay, now, Bitfunded is trading with other people's money. Okay, a very simple system here. You send them $79 for the base challenge. Okay, or you send them 100 for the medium, or you can send them more for the $25,000 account. You do a challenge. You get 8% for phase 1, you get 5% phase 2, then they give you real money to trade, and then you keep 80 to 90% of the profits. That's how it works. Okay, they've made some amazing adjustments to it now. There were a couple of issues where before we couldn't raise our stops. Now we can raise our stops above entry. We can do all of these fun things now on Bitfunded. So if you want to try something different, if you're tired of getting rinsed with your money, try other people's money. Okay, give it a go. And the link for Bitfunded is in the show description, as always, with everything else that is sitting here for you guys. So just dive in there and take a look. And then in terms, I did mention, oh, yeah, guys, I owe you KAS. I owe you KAS and I owe you GOKU. Okay, GOKU's moving into a big level, guys. And obviously, remember, these things are best when you buy it in the red. You don't buy it when it's green, you buy it when it's red. Now, look at the size of this level on GOKU here at the 1.0 or 1.1 level. Look at that, massive 12-hour support. Okay, there you go. For GOKU, might be a bounce zone there for you. In terms of KAS, well, this was interesting. Just another typical altcoin rejection off. What did we get? A 382 rejection. Look at that. And straight rejection, 382 VWAP that came into play on so many altcoins. And also the new toy that I'm playing around with on Chart Prime that they've given us is our previous daily high, our previous daily lows. And you can see that's just adding confluence. So the rejection zone for KAS today was Quantum Reactor, 382, previous day's high, VWAP, horizontals, bang, short. Okay, simple as that, moving into those zones. And that is the chart we looked at earlier today when we were looking for reversals. Now, in terms of KAS, what's next? Heavily oversold now, overbought on the oscillator, looking to push lower. It's quite an aggressive sell at the moment, but in terms of what you need to do or what you're looking for, if you're sitting in KAS, your first stop, you got to hold these lows. Okay, so I would say look for a bounce at the lows, round about 83 to about 81, somewhere around there. Look for the bounce at those lows. You should get some kind of reaction there. Nice little order block there for you and the previous day low. Okay, so that could make sense from that perspective on KAS. And then in terms of resistance, you can see your resistance is that 94 region. So KAS, yeah, guys, I almost want to apologize on behalf of the market makers, on behalf of Uncle Donald for wrecking our bags after promising us so much on November 4th. And you know what? We just take the punches. We watch our levels. Come to Chart Hackers if you want to learn how to short. Okay, shit's going down in there. Okay, you can make money going down. Surprise. Come to Chart Hackers. We will look after you. I've got an amazing team in there. They will sort you out. Guys, have a good weekend. James, thank you, sir. Have a good weekend. Okay. Sunday, main channel, Crypto Banter, main channel. I'll be there, guys. We'll break down the market. Whatever's going down, we'll sort you out. Don't panic this weekend. If you don't feel right, take a break. Just rest. We'll sort it out on Sunday. Okay. See you later.